Hello! So the free DLC Battle for Jakku launched today. It was 1 PM in the UK. So I've had a few hours playing it. In the background you can see Turning Point, which is the new game mode, and it's on the map Graveyard of Giants, which is the new large scale map. There is a small scale map as well, which is called Goazan Badlands, and they're quite different. So this map, Graveyard of Giants, is very large and very open. This is pretty much a Battlefield 4 scale map. Think Conquest, and that's what you've got here. Though the mode, which a lot of people were saying was going to be like Conquest, is actually more like Rush. So at the start of the round, if you're the rebels, you have 3 objectives to attack, but you only need to take one of them. If you take one of those objectives, you then push the map forward and you come to 2 objectives you've got to take one of. Then if you take one of those, it goes down to 1 objective. So the map narrows down as you play it. The Imperials obviously have to defend these objectives, which is harder at the start, easier at the end. But unlike in Rush, the Imperials don't have to get a certain number of kills to end the round. What they have to do is hold out for an amount of time. So in the middle of the screen at the top you can see the time counting down and what stage the objectives are on. The 3 circles represent the 3 objectives we're currently trying to defend. The 3 chevrons, well, that's because we're on the first set of bases. It'll then go to 2 when we're on the second set, 1 when we're on the final set. When you turn to look at an objective, or you're within range of the objective, you can see the state of it. So you can see the percentage of red, which is how much the rebels have actually captured. You've got to stop them turning all red, or at least stop one of them turning all red for each section of the map. So in this mode, the Imperials are always defending and the rebels are always attacking. And I think that misses a trick here, because when it comes to vehicles, the Imperials have got ATST spawns and the rebels have got fighter spawns, but the Imperials have got no fighter spawns themselves. So there's an asymmetry to the vehicles, and that would have been good to see how they would play out defending and attacking. In the mode as it is, the rebels are always attacking with 2 or 3 fighters and the Imperials are always defending with 1 ATST. But it'd be interesting to see what happens if you flip that round. But unfortunately there's no option for that in this mode. I'm guessing that this is supposed to represent the opposite of Walker Assault, where the rebels are always defending. But I think it's a bit of a missed opportunity. We're never going to see if the rebels could defend with those fighters and if the Imperials could attack with the ATST, whether it would still be balanced. I don't know, maybe they have tried it and it isn't balanced, but it would have been fun if the mode was reversible. But it does mean that this is the only mode where the Imperials have to think about taking out vehicles, because those fighters are a real pain in the butt. Things like the ion torpedo and the smart missile pickups are really useful. It is worth remembering while playing this mode that you can take down fighters with stationary turrets, or even with your blaster if you've already done enough damage to it. I ended up spending quite a lot of my time in these rounds taking pot shots at the fighters with the ion torpedo. Now fortunately the ion torpedo is a bit like the Stinger in Battlefield 4, it's fire and forget, and it can be quite a while before that ion torpedo actually hits the fighter you've shot at. So it is worthwhile taking anti-vehicle options as the Imperials on this map. Otherwise you can end up just being sitting ducks to those fighters who've got no opposition in the air. That's the nuts and bolts of this mode. So now we need to really look at, does it work? And the answer is yes. So far it seems to work. The problem being, it's only on 1 map. If you look at the modes in the main game, you'll see Turning Point, but it says not included in chosen map rotation. So you go to Battle for Jakku, look at the maps that are available for Turning Point, and it's only Graveyard of Giants. So DICE have given us a mode that's only playable on 1 map. It's a bit dull, to be honest. I played it for 4 hours this afternoon, and after that I really don't want to play it again for a while because it's 1 map. You know, we were complaining early on that maybe there was a bit of limited options with some of the modes only having 4 large maps. Well, this mode only has 1 map, and that's not enough. You can't run a mode with 1 map and expect people to play it. And it's a shame because it's a very good mode. It's well thought out. the 3-2-1 structure for the objectives really works. Everything comes to a head with everybody fighting over one point. I can't see what's wrong with this mode. It's really good fun. And then they stick it on one map. Why didn't they go back and then put it into the other large scale maps? This free DLC was obviously designed at the same time as the main game, because it was announced at the same time as the main game, and it's just an advertisement for the new films. So why haven't they put the mode on the other maps? It's really frustrating. The map itself is good, and you can play other modes on this map. So you can play Walker Assault and Supremacy on it. I've played Walker Assault on this map and it plays fine. It is pretty much like all the other versions of Walker Assault apart from Endor, and they've managed to separate this map from the Tatooine desert world because the Tatooine maps are a bit more rocky. This is basically just wide open desert. Unfortunately, the same can't be said for Gozan Badlands, the new smaller map, because that is very similar in parts to Jawa Refuge and Rebel Depot. In fact, if you crossed ice caves with Jawa Refuge, you've pretty much got Gozan Badlands. It's not a bad map and it plays well, it just seems very familiar. I will do a video on Gozan Badlands soon, but at the moment everybody's playing Turning Point on Graveyard of Giants. Not many people are playing the older modes on the other new map. So it's a bit tricky to do at the moment because the only mode I can find to play on it is Blast, and I am terrible at Blast and Team Deathmatch. Unfortunately, I think everybody's going to be back to the original game modes pretty quickly, because a game mode with one map, like I say, isn't going to keep people's attention for very long. The map is fine on the other game modes, the small map is fine on the other game modes, but a game mode with one map is just a bad idea. What were they thinking? What they should have done is included the two maps and the game mode in the game when it launched. I think most people had thought that Battle for Jakku had been written at the same time as the main game and was just being put out separately as a bit of promotion for the films. But that doesn't make any sense, because if they wrote Battle for Jakku and Turning Point at the same time as the main game, then why isn't Turning Point on the maps from the main game? Maybe it will be added to the maps later, but for now it's kind of a dead mode. Anyway, that's my opinion on Battle for Jakku. Nice attempt, nice maps, nice mode, just badly executed. And that seems to be a bit of a pattern for Star Wars Battlefront. The main game had some nice features, but some horrible problems. This first free DLC has some nice features, but some major problems. Hopefully, there's better to come.